Hello, welcome back to my channel, my friends, and welcome to whatever day of Chanmas this is. I thought today we could do a makeup, skincare, hair routine. I have gotten a couple of requests, just a couple of requests to do a video like this, and I honestly thought it sounded like a lot of fun, having it all in one place and a place to like direct you if you ever have questions about any of this stuff. So I'm going to take you along with me today as I do my makeup, as I do my hair, and then at night as I do my skincare. But let's start at the beginning. Let's start with how I start my days. I start with makeup, and I don't start with skincare. So I used to wash my face in the mornings. Now I don't really do that. I have super dry skin, and I find that washing my face in the morning actually leaves me with more breakouts and kind of a weakened skin barrier. I just feel like my skin ends up having a worse time if I wash it in the morning. I go to sleep with like a ton of skincare on, and I wake up and my skin is like dewy and plump, and I'm just not really trying to disrupt that. So this morning I applied a vitamin C serum that I'm trying out. Normally I either do like a vitamin C serum or a moisturizer to kind of start, and then I will apply sunscreen, and then I start in with my makeup. That is kind of my routine. Right now I'm trying to use up this Beauty of Joseon Relief Sun Aqua Fresh. I can't 100% say if this is breaking me out or not. I know that the original has been kind of breaking me out, and whenever I was using this one exclusively, I was having a lot of congestion on my chin, but I was also going outside and going on really long walks and sweating with the sunscreen on, so that honestly could have been a big part of it. But regardless, I'm just using what I have at the moment. Did order a new sunscreen to try, and maybe that one will be better. It's supposed to be more like fungal acne safe. That's the kind of acne that I get, but this is the sunscreen that I have on deck right now. And I do try to apply sunscreen every day, kind of regardless of what sorts of activities I'm getting into. It's probably my #1 tip as to how to keep your skin looking like fresh and young for longer. Genetically, I have like pretty bad skin, acne, and propensity for like dark spots and fine lines and things like that. But I do think the sunscreen has like helped me a lot at kind of like staving off some of those things. So sunscreen is always a must. I also really like going in kind of around my T-zone and my pores with the Supergoop Unseen sunscreen. I don't think you like have to layer sunscreens, and I could just use this on its own. Since this is a more expensive sunscreen, I do kind of like to limit it to just the areas where I feel like my pores are biggest, which is like kind of my nose, near my nose area, you know, like the cheeks right there, a little bit on my chin as well. Honestly, I probably could replace this with just like a regular silicone-based primer, but I do like the added sort of sun benefits, I guess. That is kind of my base. That is how I set things up. Lately, for foundation, I have been using the Revlon Illuminance foundation. This is like my wintertime foundation. It is very emollient. It doesn't dry down super well, but if you have really dry skin, this is amazing. It's kind of thick, kind of lays on top of the skin in a way that I think is really nice if you have dry patches. Like, this does not cling to dry patches. I feel like a lot of the foundations that people tend to recommend for dry skin don't work for me because they're like serum-y. And I feel like serum-y foundations, even if they are oily, it's like they're oily, but they also kind of get into the dry, cracky spots on my face. It's just like not my fave. So love this. I'm in the palest shade, which is 105. I also really like the L'Oreal True Match foundation. Those are like my two go-to foundations at this point. I don't use high-end foundations. Not that I'm like against them or anything. I just like have not found one at a higher price point that I'm like into. So I keep using my drugstore ones. I apply it just like with my finger right there, and then I go in with a dry beauty sponge. You can use a damp one. It doesn't really matter. I think these particular sponges that I get off of Amazon work really well when they are dry, so that's just how I use them. I find it easier too because then I don't have to like go in and dampen it or, you know, wash it every single day. I do wash my sponges though, I will say, you know, every few days just to make sure that they're not gross, but also will sometimes use a Real Technique sponge, but this one I do dampen. Just depends on the sponge. And I love this foundation because a little does go a long way. I can use the dot that I used on one side of my face on my chin. And of course I pick like the one day where my skin is probably the worst it's been in a while to do this, coming off of my period and also illness. I don't know about y'all, but whenever I'm sick and like having to blow my nose a lot, I start getting like acne and congestion kind of around my nose. I think that's actually a pretty good representation. Not of how my skin always is, but that this particular makeup routine that I do does do what I need it to in terms of like covering things and making me feel a little bit more confident when my skin is just like not at its best. Okay, foundation applied. I kind of look like a corpse at this point. Now we're going in with concealer. I have two concealers that I have really been enjoying. My old standby is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I use the shade 8B Porcelain Beige. I like this one because this is a very high coverage matte concealer. I really love this, especially in the summertime. And I like this one because it is closer to my actual skin tone, so I can use this to cover blemishes, which I am going to do today. But then if I want like a really brightened look, I use the Natasha Denona concealer in RN1. And this is the High Glam Brightening and Hydrating Concealer. And I can attest, this is so beautiful under the eyes. I've been noticing that I've been having more dryness around my eye area. I don't know if it's because I've been using a retinol or what, but this has been a little bit dry lately for me. This has been looking really, really nice. It is maybe a little bit on the light side, the color that I selected, but both of these concealers, the formulations, I really, really swear by, especially as I'm losing weight. The thing that always comes back when I lose weight are my dark circles. I've always had them. They've always been there, but obviously as I lose more volume in my face, these hollows get even more hollow and I look even more corpsey. So I really need a concealer that's gonna brighten things up and just like make me look a little bit more human. Today, I think under the eyes we will go in with a Natasha Denona just so I can show you how that one looks. But again, both of these are great and I apply this in a very, I feel like, traditional way. I don't do the like full girl Gen Z hack of doing like a little bit right here and a little bit right here. I feel like my dark circles are frankly just too aggressive for that. And I am using the brush B05 from Rephr, R-E-P-H-R. I absolutely adore their brushes and they are the only ones for the most part that I use. I have like 1 or 2 brushes that are not from Rephr, but I love them. They often run sales, so I would say never buy any of their brushes full price, but I love that they have a mix of natural hair and synthetic brushes. I personally just find that for powder products especially, natural hair brushes, just there's no competition. They're so superior and they do hold up really well over time. This one is obviously synthetic, or maybe that's not obvious, but this one is synthetic. Synthetic brushes work better for cream and liquid products. But anyway, I'm taking that concealer and just obviously blending it under my eyes and also bringing any excess onto my eyelids to sort of conceal. And then I'm going to set everything with powder. Especially, I will say with this concealer, it does need to be set on top of the eyes. Otherwise, it will crease on your eyelid. Under the eye, I've never tried to not powder it after, but I feel like it might be able to hold up without powdering, but I just love the way that it looks with powder. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm going to go in again with my Shape Tape on some of these spots. I'll be honest, like on a day-to-day basis, if I've got acne, I don't always do my best at concealing it. I am lucky in that my acne tends not to be super, super bright in color and can mostly be covered up by a foundation. But even when it's not, I just kind of don't care on a day-to-day basis. Like if I'm going to be taking pictures or I'm going to be in a video, a fancy sit-down video, be at like a special event, yes, I will take my time trying to conceal acne. Otherwise, I don't know. I feel like as I age, I tend not to care as much. Like it just, people have zits, people have redness. It is what it is. So I'm not just like painstaking on an everyday basis, but I feel like I did a decent job concealing it today. And now we're going to go in with powder. So I've tried a few different powders. I think the Maybelline Fit Me powder is one of my favorites from the drugstore. It's so finely milled. It's so brightening, especially in that lightest shade. I also used Laura Mercier. Don't like that one as much because it's not as brightening, but the Fenty Beauty lavender powder, the Pro Filter powder, it is really, really nice. I just started using this one a couple of months ago and I am really impressed with not only the texture, but how brightening this is. Kind of in some ways feel like with this particular concealer, it might be a little overkill, but that's fine. I still would prefer to use this powder than the Laura Mercier just because I think that it blurs a little bit better and is just like an overall better match for what I'm looking for in a powder. So I just take my sponge, I take like the opposite side that I used for foundation, I dip it in my powder like this with excess, and then I just kind of gently scrape the excess off of the side until I have like just the thinnest layer of powder left behind. And that is kind of what I will stamp in the under eye and side of nose area. I like this over a brush because I feel like it really blurs everything and just like flattens everything out in that area. And then I will do the same thing on my chin and in the center of my forehead. I try not to go too high because we are going to apply a cream product to the perimeter of my forehead and I don't want to disrupt that with powder. That's looking good. I'm taking the Rephr 18 kind of like candle shaped brush with a little bit of that powder, tapping off the excess and going on top of my eyes again to set that concealer. Honestly, probably should have smoothed any of the creasing before. Now we can move on to the like color makeup products. So first up, we're going in with my favorite contour. This is probably new holy grail status. I love the color of it and I just feel like the blending is so nice. This is the Face Trace Contour Stick in the shade Biscuit from Westman Atelier. I have like the little tiny version of it. Literally draw this around the perimeter of my face because when you are super pale, as I'm sure you can tell, there's not a lot of shadow left on my face after I use concealer and foundation, and I want to add a little bit of dimension back into my face. I don't necessarily want to look tan or a different shade that I am, but I do want a little bit of dimension added into my face. And then I go in with this Rephr B04 brush. This is a synthetic. I think this is supposed to be for foundation, but I use this brush and I just start kind of blending it into my hairline. Again, sort of creating that just like natural sort of like shadow. I mean, I guess it also kind of creates a bronzier look, but I feel like once my makeup is done, this does not look crazy, and I think if anything, I think it helps complete the look. Said this I feel like a couple of times in videos, but I really swear by using some sort of contour or bronzing product even if you are really, really fair, because I don't know, I look back at some pictures before I knew to use contour or bronzer as a pale person, and I just feel like I looked a little lifeless and not like myself, like not like how I actually look in real life in those pictures, because, you know, pictures kind of flatten everything out. Pictures tend to make us look devoid of actual dimension. Since I am on camera most days, I do like to add that dimension back into my face with a little bit of this like contour bronzy kind of product. So this is what we're rocking with. I feel like it looks really overkill at the moment, but again, we're not done yet. We're gonna keep working with the rest of our face, and I think it'll look more normal. Also, again, go in with this sponge and just kind of try to blend out any harsh edges, because again, I don't want to look super tan. Like, I'm not really trying to look again like a different shade than I am. I just want a little bit of dimension. Okay, next step is blush, and I kind of waffle between blush shades. Either go for something that's really kind of like cool toned pinky, or I go for something that is kind of like a soft peach. The two that I have in my makeup bag right now are the Pat McGrath powder blush in Divine Rose. This is kind of a pinky mauvey shade. It definitely leans more purple. I feel like on camera it's picking up more red, but it is not that. And then I also have I'm gonna say stick blush. That's actually a highlighter. This is a stick blush in the shade Mimi from Westman Atelier, and it's kind of this like in person sort of like dusty peachy color, which I personally love, and I apply this with my fingers. If I were using a powder blush, which I do, I would say about 50% of the time, I kind of like switch between these pretty regularly. I would use this Rephr 05 blush brush. I have a couple of these. I usually have like one that has an orangey blush on it and then one that has a pinky blush on it, and I just keep those both in my makeup bag. I swear by that blush brush. I love it so much. I do really love this blush though. This is super pretty, and I feel like works pretty well on me without looking too orangey, even though obviously it's like peachy and a little warm. It's not too orange, but it's helping me maintain a little bit of a glow when my skin is a little bit on the dehydrated side today. I definitely over blush. I like a more prominent blush look as a pale girl, but I could obviously, you know, blend this more, make it even more subtle. And honestly, over time, I feel like it gets more subtle as the day goes on, just because blush fades. If I'm feeling zesty, I'll go in with highlighter. This is the Lit shade from Westman Atelier. It's a very dewy and glossy highlighter that will not set down. So if you like something that is going to set down, this is not the product for you. But I do really love the way that this looks, and I love the way that it blends. I hate to say it, but I really do. I love Westman Atelier products. Everything I've tried from them, I have been wowed by. And I've tried a few different brands of like cream products. I've tried Merit. I feel like Merit's one of the big ones with like their foundation stick and their blushes. I just like have not had luck with them. So loving these products, and I love how we're looking so far. Next, we're gonna do eye makeup. So my approach to makeup, generally speaking, and just like my approach to my everyday makeup, is to keep it simple and to draw attention to the areas of my face that I want to highlight, obviously. For my eyes, I like to keep things a little bit more on the simple side, because I find that if I go really heavy with my eye makeup, I tend to look a lot older than I am, and I'm not trying to look younger than I am, but I definitely don't want to age myself with too much eye makeup. So I like to do, honestly, just like 1 or 2 shades. Today I'm using the Anastasia Sultry palette, just like the most basic brown shades, and I'm going in with this sort of like cool toned medium shade into my crease on a Rephr 27 brush. I love this blending brush. I think their other one is called like the 15. That one's pretty good as well. I like how big this one is, how big and just not very dense it is. So I just go in with kind of like, you know, windshield wiper motions in the crease, just creating a little bit of a gentle kind of shadow right there. I would say 90% of the time, maybe 80% of the time, this is all I will do. It's just like a little bit of shadow in the crease to create dimension, and then I just call it a day. I always follow up with liquid liner and mascara, because I feel like that gives my eyes more pop, but I don't want anything too intense most days. And then today, just because we're here, I'm gonna go in with this really pale shimmery shade and just apply this to my lids with my finger, alternating between swiping and tapping, just for a little bit of extra shine. And honestly, that's the kind of shade that I normally will apply to my lid. I think most of the other shades in here that are shimmery are a little too dark for my liking. For like an everyday look, I don't like to go too crazy. Liquid liner, I just use my old reliable Stila Stay All Day. This particular one is on its last leg for sure. It is kind of dried out. I have a new one coming, but yeah, I just continue to repurchase this one because it is really good. Although I do want to try something different, I think soon, because I'm wondering if there is better out there. I don't normally do like a winged look. I like the look of winged liner. I think it's a little bit much for me for every day, and it just takes more work. So I just kind of line my eye as normal, and I try to keep it thin, although inevitably it gets thicker than I like it to be because I'll mess up on the other eye and have to match it, but I keep things really simple. Now we can move on to mascara. My favorite mascara is the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara in the shade Jet, which is the black shade. I love this mascara. I find that it does everything I want it to do, which is mostly just like volumize without making my lashes too clumpy. It has a rubber brush, which I know is not everyone's preference, but I love it. And I love the formula of this mascara. It's like thick and moussey rather than being too wet. I do not like a wet mascara formulation, and it just kind of clumps my eyelashes together. I have decently long lashes, but I don't have very dense lashes, so I need a mascara that's going to make me look like I have more eyelashes than I do, which is why I kind of reach for this one. Drugstore mascaras that I enjoy are the L'Oreal Million Lashes and the, is it Lash Paradise mascara? That one's really good as well. I don't like whatever the Lash Paradise is duping. I've tried that one. I think it's like the Better Than Sex, but I do really like L'Oreal Lash Paradise. My only problem with that one is that it tends to be too wet when you open it, but once you keep it open for a little while, it's nice. I just don't like that. I want my mascara to be kind of like nice from the jump. Like I don't want to have to wait for it to get good. So that's kind of why I have been gravitating towards this one. And also, what is it about drugstore mascaras just getting more and more expensive? I think this Make Waves is like $22, and I feel like the L'Oreal mascaras are like $15. So price difference isn't even big enough for me to like really want to buy a drugstore one anymore. And we're almost done with the look. We just have to do lips and brows. Brows I keep pretty simple as well. I use the e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil. I don't know, I feel like this is one of the steps of my routine that I might want to change up soon, because I feel like my brows have been looking really dark. I haven't changed anything, but I think maybe just like with the contrast of my highlights, they're looking a little aggressive. I don't even do anything I think that's particularly aggressive. Like these are just my natural brows, but I do go in on the sparse areas with a pencil just to make sure that we don't have any like gaps. Maybe that's what's making my eyebrows look too dark. I'm not really sure. I don't feel like they're crazy, but I'm considering changing these up. This is the one part of my routine that I'm not 100% satisfied with at the moment. And then I'm going in with the Brow Freeze Gel from Anastasia. I actually don't love this product. I prefer just the regular clear brow gel, but I accidentally picked this one up and I was like, it's fine. I will just use it up. I didn't realize until I had already opened the product, so it's not like so bad that I wouldn't use it up. It is just like a little aggressive for my taste. Now we can do lips. So for lips, I will say a lot of days I just forget to put on lip product, or it's just not a priority because I'm about to go eat food. My go-to lip products lately have been these Pout Clout lip plumping pens from e.l.f. Today I'm going to use the shade Toasted because it matches our blush a little bit better. Some days I'll also go in with a lip liner. With these products, just depends on my mood. I don't have a lip liner with me. I think they're in my purse at the moment. But this I just apply as is, straight out of the tube, nothing fancy, and I love the way that it kind of like goes with the blush shade that I'm using. Nice and peachy. So that is it for makeup. I feel like this looks pretty good today. I feel like my bronzer is looking maybe a little bit much, and I think I'm actually going to go in with a little bit of powder on my forehead to kind of like seal in the bronzer slash contour. I did go in right here with some, but I do think I would like to seal in kind of the rest of everything, and maybe that'll also help make it look a little less crazy. The powder brush that I'm going in with, don't remember where I got this one. This one's not actually Rephr, but Rephr does have a very similar powder brush that I think that you can purchase. Yeah, I think that's looking a little bit better. Don't love to like mattify my skin, but I do know that it'll hold up a little bit better throughout the day if I seal things in. Okay, I think that looks good. I think we are done. I think my cats are going a little crazy, so I will meet y'all downstairs to do our hair. Okay, while we're waiting for my curling iron and hair straightener to warm up, I thought I would show you what products that I normally use. So sorry about the lines. There are LED lights in here, so that's just going to be what's happening. So the shampoo and conditioner I've been using lately are the Dove Bond Strength Damage Therapy Shampoo and Conditioner. I also have been alternating between using the conditioner and the mask that goes with the line. I use the conditioner if I'm going to be doing any curled hairstyles because I like my hair to have a little bit more like grip to it. And then if I'm doing a sleek hairstyle, like straightening my hair, I will use the Bond Strength mask. I use this like once a week, and I use this twice a week, and I wash my hair 3 times a week, at least lately. And those have been working really well. Every once in a while, I will cycle in Nizoral to help with the health of my scalp. I feel like I have a really dry, either psoriasis or dandruff prone scalp. I get really itchy, and so that tends to help. So I'll use that as my first wash and then go in with this as my second. Do that probably like once a week. So that is my hair washing routine. Once I get out of the shower, I'll use the 21 Benefits from Pureology. This is my favorite leave-in product. It is a heat protectant. It is a detangler. It does so much. And this is all I use after I get out of the shower, and then I will use a hairbrush and brush it through my hair, and I call it a day. If I call it a day, I mean I will blow dry my hair after. That is one of the biggest things that's changed in my routine lately. I used to never blow dry my hair. Now I blow dry my hair every time I wash it, and again, I think it's been better for the health of my scalp, so I've been enjoying that. Well, maybe not the time that it takes, but I have been enjoying it. Last night, I just really roughly blow dried my hair. I have kind of curly slash wavy hair, more on the wavy side of things. I try not to get too meticulous about keeping it really sleek when I blow dry it for a curly look, because I have very fine, slippery hair, and what I have found, if you have really fine, slippery hair and your hair just does not last when you curl it, like it does not stay, is to have grit to your hair. You need a little bit of texture for your curls to stay. So by not really like, you know, doing a blowout before I curl my hair, I get better results personally. So I'm taking a brush and I am creating a center part in my hair with my finger because I'm really not too fancy with it. And you might ask, like, if you're curling your hair, why do you also need a hair straightener? And because I have wavy hair, if I just left this in my hair, if I just left like some of these more wavy bits, it's not gonna give me the look that I want, especially if, like I used to, I didn't blow dry my hair. I would have a ton of really like fuzzy pieces right here, and it just wouldn't, again, give me the look that I want even if I used a curling iron on it. So we go in first with our hair straightener, and I kind of go around the perimeter of my head near my face and just kind of straighten and make sleek the areas I feel like need it, mostly like the front of my hair. Since I blow dried it, I don't have as much of a need to go up here and straighten this part, but there is like one little bumpy area. My curls are not going to go quite this high, and so there's going to be kind of a weird disconnect. Okay, you might not notice much of a difference, but that was important. That was an important step. And now I'm going in with the Bioionic 1-inch curling iron in the extended barrel. Extended barrel is 2 inches longer than a regular curling iron, and it works really good if you have super long hair. Curling is something I think I've perfected over the years. Again, I have fine, medium density hair that is so slippery and does not tend to hold styles very well. I think it holds styles a little bit better than if I had naturally straight hair, but still not perfect by any means. I feel like I've gotten this down to a science for myself at this point. I would say if you have similar hair to me in terms of it being really, really fine and slippery, you should do a 1-inch barrel. Even if you want a really loose, beachy wave, use a 1-inch barrel and just adjust the amount of time that your hair is spending on the barrel or the amount of hair you're putting on the barrel. There's so many factors involved with curling that can help change the way that your hair looks. I do my hair very specifically in the way that I like, but I know how to change it up. So some tips for you if you're new to curling hair and you just like have never gotten it to look how you want. The smaller barrel, again, I think is good if you've got fine hair. And then if you do a bigger section of hair on the barrel, it's going to end up with a looser curl. If you don't go all the way down the hair shaft, you're gonna have a beachier wave if your like ends are not curled. Depending on how far up you go on the hair shaft too will determine how loose and tousled your hair looks. So if you like that really beachy look, don't go up as high on your head when you're curling your hair. The temperature of your barrel also matters. If you're not doing it very hot, again, you're getting a looser curl. I like a very polished curl. I'm not really into the beachy wave look, so I curl all of my hair, even the ends. I would say like small to medium sections when I curl, and I keep the barrel of my curling iron pretty vertical. And my technique is to kind of twirl the barrel while I loosen the clamp so that more hair can pass through it. I feel like that is a technique that a lot of people use, and I'm not leaving this hair out. I'm just giving the top of my hair a chance to touch the heat of the barrel first. And I have to say, I've been really, really impressed with this curling iron. This is a newer to me product. I used to use the Hot Tools extended barrel curling iron. That one was really nice. I did like it, but it wasn't made quite as nicely, and the barrel was not made out of ceramic. So I feel like my hair didn't look quite as sleek. Like the curls themselves, I think had a little bit more frizz to them. And this has been, I think, worth the price that I paid for it. I think this was like $100 on sale. And this is the technique, y'all. It's nothing fancy. I'm doing my hair pretty much the same way since like 8th grade. So I feel like I've got a decent amount of experience with this particular style, and I just keep coming back to it. I occasionally will straighten my hair. At this point, I've been straightening my hair once a week, so it'll be straight for about 2 days, just to kind of switch things up and show off the length of my hair, I guess. But honestly, I just feel like me when my hair is curled like this. One change that I am presently making with my hair, or at least trying to, is growing out some of the shorter pieces in the front, because I've been wanting to go like a slightly looser curl or slightly looser wave look lately. I don't think it looks super great because of those pieces being super short, so that's why I haven't been executing that, but I think in the future that is kind of what I want to do. But these pieces right here look a little goofy with that kind of look, if that makes sense. So eventually I'm going to do looser curls and it's all gonna be kind of one length and whatever, but I'm gonna finish up my curls. I'll be back when I'm done. All right, now that I'm looking like Shirley Temple, we're ready to do something about this. I don't walk around like this every day. Kind of alternate between finger combing my curls. I'm using a brush on my curls. Today I'm gonna finger comb because I want my curls to be curly. I prefer this look and I feel like they tend to last longer if I just kind of finger comb through them. Also, I wait a little bit between finishing curling my hair and doing this. I let my curls get completely cold to the touch, which takes kind of a long time. I would say like a good 5 to 10 minutes, and normally I will like get dressed during that time. Clearly I didn't this time. That's it, baby. That is it. And then we get to decide what sort of hold product we're gonna use. This is my shit right here. This is Triple Sec Dry Bar 3-in-1 Finishing Spray. I like the Lush scent. The Blanc scent's also great. This stuff is my favorite dry texturizing spray because it does not weigh the hair down like some of the other sprays, and it also doesn't make my hair prematurely dirty. Sort of spray that through the lengths of my hair, but on the top as well. It's not sticky either like a hairspray would be, which is why I like to use this. Every once in a while though, I'll go to Houston or I'll go to Florida and I need a hairspray because this does not cut it against humidity. I will let you know that right now. Amazing for just like every day, not amazing with humidity. The thing that I use for humidity, this bad boy right here, Bedhead Masterpiece. This smells really good. It smells like candy. This is like the least sticky hairspray that I've personally used. It gives you a nice kind of a light medium hold and it prevents any sort of like fuzzies from happening. If I'm feeling really fancy, I'll go on the top of my hair with this hairspray and just sort of like smooth down any flyaways. I'm feeling zesty and I guess I am. I already have the product out. Most days I don't do this though, admittedly, because I don't care, but look at that. Sleek. Smooth. Did I need to do all of this before Pilates? Probably not, but that's okay. The good news is that it will last through Pilates as well. I will check in with y'all once I am ready to get on ready for the day to show you my nighttime skincare routine. Hello friends, it's nighttime. I just brushed my teeth and I'm about to do my skincare routine, my nighttime skincare routine. Let's start with cleanser. I am a double cleanse girly. I have been for a while, and I'll be honest, my preferred double cleanse method is just with one cleanser. Like, I do not like being fancy. I don't like having multiple, different steps or products when it comes to the cleansers I use. I find it to be unnecessary. That being said, I'm on a no-buy journey. I'm also on a use up all of the products I have sort of journey. I have a couple of different things that I have been using and I do enjoy the things that I have. So I have 3 different cleansers that I like. First is the Cica Clear Cleansing Oil. This is like a first step cleanser. This helps to remove like all of my makeup. I do like it for that. That being said, I'm not a huge oil cleansing fan, which is why I'm a big proponent of double cleansing with the same cleanser, and I normally don't use an oil cleanser. That being said, I'm gonna use one tonight. I do occasionally use an oil cleanser if I've got like a ton of eye makeup on. I feel like just a regular cleanser isn't gonna cut it, even doing it twice. So I do have this in my rotation, but once this is done, I'm not going to repurchase this. The 2 cleansers that I swear by are Cetaphil for normal to oily skin. It is the clear cleanser from Cetaphil, not the one that's like milky and kind of looks like holiday icing. For the one that is like basically soap, and it removes eye makeup, it removes face makeup. Double cleansing with it is amazing. My new discovery though, the one that I have really been enjoying lately, is the Prequel Cleanser. This stuff is so good for dry skin. The texture is a little weird. It's like somewhere in between aloe and snail mucin. That's how I've heard Abby Young describe it, and I think that's a pretty good way to describe it. It is a clear liquid. It is amazing. When you're done cleansing, you don't get a squeaky clean feeling, and I feel like I don't get a squeaky clean feeling when I use Cetaphil, but this just leaves my skin so neutral. Like, not dry, not oily, like nothing is left behind when I use this. And this does also remove makeup. So I love this. I love the packaging. And I compared the price to Cetaphil for like a normal sized bottle. This is only, I want to say like $5 more expensive. So not crazy. I think this was like $17 from Target, and it's a pretty big bottle. So I think I will continue to purchase this. Honestly, after I'm done with this one, I might try the one that has salicylic acid. I love a good salicylic acid cleanser. I think it just helps to get in the pores and help to get rid of some of the dead skin as well. So I love that. But this is great. This is what I'm going to be using tonight in conjunction with this, just because again, I'm trying to use this up. I just got a little bit on my face, but this is something that you can use just on its own. And yeah, I don't know. I just don't like getting oil in my eyes, and I inevitably do. For some reason, this one, I don't. This one does not get in my eyes or irritate my eyes, but any other oil cleanser or cleansing balm I've ever used, I try to use it on my eye area and then I get a film on my eyes after using it. And I cannot stand that. It's just not worth it to me. Even if it gets like maybe a slightly better cleanse. Anyway, I'm gonna use this combo tonight, and then I'm going to dry my face with one of these little towels that I got from Amazon. I got a pack of like 20 of these. These are amazing. Please, for the love of God, do not buy those like disposable, single-use, clean towel club or whatever the fuck those are called. It's so bad for the environment and so unnecessary, and you can throw these in with your regular like bath towels and clean them. And this has been the most luxurious upgrade for me. Before, I was just using like a hand towel and cleaning it every week, you know, replacing it midweek. These, I like grab a new one, a fresh one every day, and it feels luxurious. I know my skin's getting clean. I love it. So I'm gonna cleanse my skin. I'll come back and then we can do the last steps of my skincare routine. All right, my skin is very pale and also very clean, which we love. The first thing that I apply after cleansing is this Naturium Retinaldehyde Cream Serum. I'm almost out of it. I talked about this in a recent favorite video. This really is so good and has not given me any breakouts or irritation. So I applied this, 2 pumps of it all over my skin. This is like the first layer of defense before we go to sleep. There are a few layers at night. It used to just be moisturizer and a little bit of Aquaphor. Now I have a couple of like actives to keep my skin looking even better. So this is one of them. The other thing, this isn't really an active, but it's the Multi-Peptide Advanced Serum from Naturium. I love this because it just adds a little bit of extra hydration in the wintertime. And I think my skin just looks a little bit more plump when I use this. Again, 2 pumps all over the face. I absolutely adore this stuff. It's so additionally hydrating. It's like I didn't know I needed it until I tried it. So I love this. And then for moisturizer, I have 2 moisturizers that I swear by and that I cannot live without. You'll have probably heard me talk about this one if you are a longtime viewer. The Comfort Ceramide Cream from CosRx is so good. I love this, especially in the summertime. It is a thick moisturizer for sure. Since I have such dry skin, even this moisturizer like doesn't totally cut it in the wintertime. But what does is the Clinique Moisture Surge Intense. Again, cannot get enough of this stuff. I got a big one on the Black Friday deals or whatever on Amazon, and I slather this on my skin. I am really generous with my moisturizer. This is definitely like the product category that I go through the most often because I'm not a pea size amount kind of girl. I apply it on my eyes, just all over. It is so luxurious. This feels oily. This is thick but feels matte. This is a little thinner but feels oily. I like that. Like I need that nourishing whatever is in here because I never wake up with dry patches when I use this stuff. It is so good. I don't think it breaks me out or anything either, which is very, very nice. So love both of these moisturizers. This is more of a summer thing. This is more of a winter thing, but both of these are great. This is pretty inexpensive too. I think you can get a bottle of this for like 18 bucks on Amazon, and it takes a while to get through that. So love that. And then lastly, Aquaphor. I love Aquaphor. I'm a slugger, okay? I like to seal in my moisturizer, all of my skincare products with Aquaphor. Will this make your pillow disgusting and greasy? Absolutely it will. Is this 100% necessary for me? Yes. If I go to sleep like this, I will wake up and my skin will be parched. I just have scaly lizard skin and I just can't help it, okay? This is the game changer. If you are averse to applying Aquaphor, it's a little too thick, a little too occlusive. You can also do like an oil on top of your skincare routine. I have used a Naturium oil before for that and it's great. This is cheaper though and it works great and I just love it, especially in the wintertime. So I apply about this much all over my face. I know, kind of crazy. The first time I did this, I was like, there's no way this is not gonna break me out. But I can assure you, any breakouts I have come in the daytime. Like they are from makeup products, they're from skincare, they're not from layering Aquaphor. Aquaphor does have more of a chance, I will say, to break you out than other occlusives because I think it has like lanolin in it, but if you want to use just like pure Vaseline or the CeraVe healing ointment, something like that on top of your skincare, if you have dry skin, you really do have to try it. I think if you don't have dry skin, maybe not worth it, but for me, this is just a must-have step. I'm looking at my skincare drawer too to see if there's anything else that I use every once in a while, and there are 2 products that I do like to rotate in as needed. So I'll show you those too. First is the Ordinary's AHA and BHA peeling solution. I use this when my skin is just really congested and when my skin needs a little bit more exfoliation. This is like a 5-minute mask. I don't use any actives if I'm using this. So like I'll wash my face, use this, and then just apply moisturizer straight over it because this is exfoliating the shit out of your skin. So you don't want to use a retinaldehyde or anything like that after. But I do really like this. And I try to use that like once a week, but I don't always remember. And then for me, I have fungal acne / like just little whiteheads that pop up. That's like the majority of the acne that I get. And for that kind of acne, I swear by the Mario Badescu drying lotion. This is going to probably bring a lot of you back to yesteryear because this is kind of an old sort of product, but the alcohol and calamine, sulfur, whatever the fuck's in here, dries out those zits perfectly. Do not use this if you have blind zits or hormonal zits or cystic zits. This will not work for that. And definitely use one of those little like patches, little pimple patches for those. But for little whiteheads, I swear by this. And I will apply this directly over my Aquaphor, which sounds crazy, but it's fine. It doesn't really like interfere or anything. This still does its job. I mean, it has alcohol is like the base of this product, this like dual phase product. So that's it for me, folks. Like that is it for my skincare routine. It's not the most simple. It used to literally just be cleanse, moisturize, aquaphor. Now I have a couple of extra steps with my retinaldehyde and my multipeptide serum, but I have noticed a difference using those and I do really enjoy them. And that is it for me. If you're curious if I do anything special when I go to sleep with my hair, the answer is no. I don't put it in a bun. I don't braid it. I just go to sleep like this. I do kind of like lay my hair over the back of my pillow so it doesn't get in my aquaphor as I sleep, but that's it. That is my routine. I hope this was entertaining or helpful. Some of y'all, again, I know like 2 of y'all asked for my routines and I always love sharing girly stuff like this, but thanks so much for watching. I love y'all and I'll see you in the next one.